we've talked about the why, well, as much as we can understand the why. We've talked about the fact that, we need to raise Kundalini and how important and serious a task that is for us. But how exactly do we go about doing that, or what is the way that we should approach that?
To get to the question of how do we raise the Kundalini in a responsible way, ultimately the answer is service. And I think I'll just read a short passage from the 9 Freedoms given by the Karmic Lord Mars Sector 6 through Dr. George King in 1961. This is actually one of my favourite passages in the whole series of transmissions. Now, I remember reading it when I was new to the Aetherius Society, and of course I understood it even less then than I do now, but there was a strange beauty and mystery to it that always attracted me. Serve and you will become enlightened. Serve and you will be practicing true selfless love. Serve and the mighty power of Kundalini will rise in natural, unforced fashion and open the chakra jewels in your higher bodies. In will pour inspiration, and you will be standing on the verge of the initiation into adeptship. There are no words great enough to describe the wonder of service. And later, in the same transmission, Mars Sector 6 says this: "This declaration do I throw into every mental realm. I would inform those aspirants who, in total disregard of human needs, retreat into the wilderness, come you hence, for you are fools. Service, my friends, is greatness. Serve and be great, nay, be everlasting." And I love those last 3 words because I think, my opinion of one of the things that might be meant there is that service does more than just give you powers, more than greatness. It makes you everlasting. What is everlasting? God. There is nothing as everlasting as God. There is nothing that is truly everlasting except God. So it's by service that we truly realize our divinity. It's more than being able to levitate, more than being able to walk on water. It's more even than wisdom itself. It is absolute oneness with divinity. This is the path. There's a wonderful quote by Dr. King where he says, "Service is the one and only way." Because we talk about there are many paths to God, and that is definitely true. Dr. King has said that many times. The Cosmic Masters have said that, and it's common sense, frankly, I think, that you can attain a level of wisdom through Buddhism, through Christianity, through Hinduism, etc., whatever your path is.
Right.
But at the end of the day, unless there is service as a key part of that path, if not the key part, then you cannot really become enlightened. This is the way to improve your karma, is to be of service to others. Give to others and good things will come to you. Maybe not in the way you expect. You may not even think they are good things, because these good things may come in the form of very difficult lessons.
Yeah.
But still, if you serve, you will advance. You have to, because you're selflessly giving, so the universe will have to selflessly give back to you. It's absolutely fundamental to creation. It cannot be otherwise. There are many ways to serve, and we should find the way that enables us as an individual to do the greatest good for the world as a whole. And this could be giving healing to people in need. It could be fundraising. It could be giving spiritual teaching. It could be giving counselling. It could be running an orphanage. There are so many ways to serve.
We've talked about a lot of different kinds of service that we can give with our various abilities and inclinations, but one way we definitely all can as well, which is accessible to everybody, is the radiating of spiritual energy through the 12 blessings.
Absolutely. Well, to the materialistically minded person, when we do the 12 blessings, it's just wishful thinking, and it doesn't really do anything. And to that materialistic person, I would say you are perfectly entitled to your opinion. That is your right, of course. So if you feel that way, then please go out and be of service in a material
Any
way.
other way.
Yeah. Be of service in a way that you believe in, because it's definitely needed. There are many, many forms of service that are needed, and material service is absolutely essential on earth today. So I have the greatest of respect for people who devote their lives to doing that, and thank God there are a number of people who do this. Maybe they are atheists or of whatever faith. Maybe if we had a philosophical discussion, they would completely disagree with me on almost everything. It doesn't matter, though. The important thing, as far as I'm concerned, is that they're helping others.
And if only there were more.
If only there were more, indeed. If everyone on earth who isn't doing anything at the moment devoted themselves to material aid to those in need, the whole world would completely transform. I mean, beyond all recognition. As well as material service, though, which is essential, spiritual service is also very important. Spiritual service gets to the very heart of what is wrong with mankind on earth today. It's like it gets to, rather than just treating the symptoms, which are important, it gets to the very essence of the sickness that we as a planetary species have. And that sickness, in one word, is selfishness. Another word might be ignorance, because the two are inextricably linked.
Hand in hand.
When I say ignorance, I don't mean lack of education. You could have someone who was very highly educated, but ignorant about what really mattered. And you could have another person who couldn't even read or write, who had a certain wisdom about them. So when I say ignorance, I mean ignorance of what life is really all about, which is about service to others, about oneness with divinity, about true selfless love, about revering great spiritual masters, about working in cooperation with nature rather than against nature, and ultimately about unconditional surrender to God. And when I say surrender to God, I don't mean like God is our enemy, because God is our essence. It's surrender to what we really are. People talk about, you should be yourself, be true to yourself. Ultimately, being yourself is being God. And being true to yourself is being true to what God is.
I think one of the most important points for me that I take away from that conversation is that, we can continue to ask about the meaning of life all we want, as almost as an intellectual pursuit, because we have the answer. It's been given to us over and over again in the 9 freedoms that you just mentioned, and in the example of great beings who have come to earth. The answer is service. And if we just remember that one thing and take that one thing away, we can go back to the stars that we came from.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is, I think if I had to choose a one-word answer for what is the meaning of life, I would say service.
Right.
Yes, Kundalini is essential to it. Yes, an understanding of the cosmos is essential to properly answering the question. But in practical terms, that's the one word that we really need to remember and practice.